Adding a third set to my front squats this session is making me think about the weight that I would like to increase it to when the time comes, which shouldn't be too far now. Just in the previous session I was talking about something similar while going up in weight for the barbell curls, and I decided to go for the minimum increase available. So I am kind of debating that now with the front squats. The thing is also that yesterday I mentioned that being an isolation movement, I thought that being safe and cautious on the increase was probably a wise decision. But thinking about a heavier compound movement, I'm just not as sure if I should be applying the same reasoning behind it in going up in weight. Oh, by the way, in here, I listened to my own advice from last week and I didn't do any hanging leg raises with my legs straight. Instead, I was doing knee raises with 6 kilo dumbbells in between my feet. This is because my piriformis is still giving me a sensation of tightness, and I do not want to piss it off in any way. So I thought that this variation for the time being was going to serve me well, and it did. I was pushing the set up to 20 reps. So I did 3 sets of those, and definitely next week I'm going to increase that by a couple of kilos and see how many I can do with those and stay in a higher rep range. I'm thinking 15 to 20 reps. And the issue with this current piriformis thing is kind of weird because I started experiencing a bit of discomfort with the front squats about a month or so ago. But then never ever again I felt like the front squat was giving me a sensation of pain or anything. It's more like in day-to-day life when I need to bend over and there is a degree of spinal flexion, or there is a twisting movement in my torso while my legs are bent. And this is replicated in both the straight leg raises and also when I'm doing the pike push-ups. So I guess that for the time being I will have to do things that do not really aggravate the issue, while at the same time do some work that pumps a good amount of blood in the area, and that should hopefully clear out sooner than later. But this is the third set with the front squat, and the first 2 I did 8 and 7 reps. I thought I could do another one in the third one, but I kept it at 5 because I want to progress these over the next couple of weeks. I am in no rush to be adding weight to the squats. It's just that I've been thinking about whether I should be increasing that by a smaller amount or a slightly larger amount. I'm thinking between 2.5 and 5 kilos, so it's nothing major. And in both ways, I think that I would still be able to stay in the 5 to 8 rep range as soon as I go up. It's just the fact that I am not sure whether I want to stay more conservative in the way that I add and then maybe adding weights more often. That's it. And as I was discussing the ways in which I would be progressing the weight on front squats, the next superset was passing along. I was doing the loaded back extensions with 20 kilos, superset with the upright rows. The back extensions, I am kind of ready to go up, at least in sets, but because the previous day I was doing 3 sets on the hip thrusts, I thought that having to do squats also, I didn't really want to put too much volume in these couple of days. Ideally, I would be progressing one exercise. I would like to keep the set progressions separate by at least a week so that I do not really accumulate too much volume in a couple of days. But unfortunately, things kind of overlapped. So what I will be doing is possibly putting an extra weight on the back extension next week. So I had a bit more time to adapt to the higher volume. But as I can be more granular in the way that I increase weight on the hip thrust, I do not really have that luxury on the back extension. So the next increase in weight is going to be 25 kilos. So I might be adding a third set with 20 kilos just to get extra volume in there and some extra blood pumping in the posterior chain. That might be also helping the piriformis, who knows. But at that point where I'm gonna switch over to 25 kilos, I'm going to be going down in reps and do sets of 10, couple of sets of 10, and see how also the hip thrust is going. There is a bit of tricky decision making that needs to happen in terms of the way that things progress in reality and the way that I would like them to do so in my idea. But so long as things are progressing, albeit slowly, I cannot really complain. Also, the dips were feeling okay. I was doing an extra rep on the first set and did 14 reps, and in the second one I did 12. Next time I will be trying and increase the second set and see how that goes. The only thing with the front lever tack raises was that at this point I was kind of fatigued, so the first set I was doing 6, The second one I was doing 5, and I was pretty gassed out at this point. So good end of the session. Ciao.